1:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Danishka Madavella and read by Niranjan Abesundara. The President says vaccination is the final solution and urges the public to follow health guidelines. State Minister Arjun Kabral say post-city project will benefit the country in many ways. Tourism sector will continue despite the pandemic. 19 persons were arrested yesterday for failing to adhere to quarantine rules and regulations. Doctors say that with the new variant of the COVID-19 pandemic, patients could get pneumonia prior to showing any symptoms. In world news, patients dying without oxygen in India amid Delhi surge. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa say vaccination is the final solution to the COVID-19 pandemic and the government has a strong program in place to vaccinate people of the country. He stated that in order to overcome the challenge successfully, people must strictly follow all the rules, regulations and instructions recommended by the health authorities, similar to during the first wave of the pandemic. He stated that the government has made arrangements to import 4 of the COVID-19 vaccines currently approved by the World Health Organization and to be approved in the near future. The government has already imported 4 types of COVID vaccines to the country. First dose of AstraZeneca vaccine has been given to more than 9,000 persons. Second dose will be given on the first week of next month. Second dose will be given for the frontline health workers and other members who battle to prevent the coronavirus. State Minister Aditya Kabral say the Port City project will benefit the country in many ways. The government and the country can get more benefits through this project. State Minister added that the aim of the government is to create a good environment to the local and foreign investors in the country. The country must first attract investors who can invest millions of dollars. The aim of the President is to develop the country's economic up to 7%. The Port City project has created for the international business purposes. Almost all the main countries have conformed to invest in the Port City. Mr. Prasad Ranatunga says that even though the COVID situation prevailed in the country, they haven't decided to halt the tourism industry in the country. The minister added, government does not make any decision to limit the repatriation of migrant workers to the country. The process will take place under health guidelines. He said PCR tests are being conducted at the airports as well. Due to the decision, there is no threat of spreading the virus through the tourists. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Doctors say that with the new variant of COVID-19 pandemic, patients could get pneumonia prior to showing any symptoms. There is a high tendency of spreading virus through the air. So the health authorities warn the people should wear face masks all the time. In the previous corona situation, symptoms were shown first, but during the present COVID, symptoms will show after the virus attacked the lungs. State Minister of Pharmaceutical Production, Supply and Regulation, Chana Jayasubramanian said stock of Russian-made Sputnik 5 COVID-19 vaccines will arrive in Sri Lanka in a few days. He said second phase of the vaccination program will begin as soon as the stocks are received. Sri Lanka's cabinet ministers have given the nod to purchase 7 million doses of Sputnik 5 COVID-19 vaccines at a cost of $69.65 million. Meanwhile, the Chinese-made Sinopharm vaccine will be approved by the World Health Organization for emergency use in the next 2 weeks and will be made available to the public as soon as it is approved. Professor Jayasubramanian said China donated 600,000 doses of Sinopharm COVID-19 vaccine to Sri Lanka and the stock already arrived in the country on 31st of March. State Minister said that 4,000 Chinese nationals in the country have been vaccinated with the Sinopharm vaccine. State Minister said government has paid close attention to coronavirus pandemic situation in the country and all resources have been allocated to control the situation. Professor Chana Jayasubramanian called on all Sri Lankans to support the government's program. And that ends local news for now.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
The Sri Lanka Public Health Inspectors Union has decided to declare the districts of Colombo and Gampa in Western Province and Kurunegala in the Northwestern Province as high-risk zones for COVID-19. The president of the PHI Union, Upul Rohan, has said this was done taking into consideration the number of infections reported daily in the districts. The PHI Union said risk in the Western Province is gradually increasing in view of the current coronavirus situation. Mr. Rohan has said situation in the Kurunegala district is also dangerous. He added there's high risk of COVID-19 coronavirus spreading rapidly throughout the country and it is important the public be extra responsible this weekend. That was the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Vedamahatmya.
On to Watchlight. Police media spokesman D. Rohan has stated that 19 persons were arrested yesterday for failing to adhere to quarantine rules and regulations. They were arrested for failing to wear face masks and maintain social distancing. Most of the individuals have been arrested from Kiribathgad and Piliyandal areas, he said. Since 30th of October 2020 to date, Sri Lanka police have arrested 3,430 people for failing to wear face masks and maintain social distancing. That came to in Watchlight.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
the best discount in this out of the season. People's Leasing Polybossy. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this out of the season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Patients dying without oxygen in India amid Delhi surge. Man arrested after infecting 22 people in Majorca. French volunteers leave cave after 40 days in isolation for deep time study. For a fourth day in a row, India has set an unwelcome world record for the number of new coronavirus infections, a further 349,691 cases in 24 hours to Sunday morning, with another 2,067 lives lost. The capital, Delhi, is one of the worst hit areas. City hospitals are overwhelmed and whose citizens are in desperation. City has been reporting more than 24,000 cases daily in the past few days. Hospitals are completely overrun and healthcare workers are exhausted. A man has been arrested in Spain on suspicion of assault after allegedly infecting 22 people with COVID. 40-year-old is alleged to have continued to go to work and the gym despite having a cough and a temperature. He is said to have walked around in his place of work in Majorca, pulling his mask down, coughing and telling colleagues he was going to infect them. 5 colleagues and 3 fellow gym goers later tested positive. Another 14 people, family members of the infected, also came down with COVID, including 3 one-year-olds. A group of French volunteers have emerged from a cave after a 40-day study exploring the limits of human adaptability to isolation. The 15 participants lived in the Lombrives cave in southwest France with no phones, clocks or sunlight. They slept in tents, made their own electricity and had no contact with the outside world. The project aimed to test how people respond to losing their sense of time and space. The so-called deep time experiment came to an end on Saturday, allowing the 8 men and 7 women aged 27 to 50 who took part to leave the cave. Scientists overseeing the project entered the cave a day earlier to tell them the project was nearing its end. And back to the headlines of the world news. Patients dying without oxygen in India amid Delhi surge. Man arrested after infecting 22 people in Majorca. French volunteers leave cave after 40 days in isolation for deep time study. That was World News.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of
The best discount in this out of the season. People's Leasing Polybossy. Enjoy an interest rebate of 25% from People's Leasing for all the leasing facilities during this out of the season. Call 011 206 300 for more details. Conditions apply.
People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development news. The government said it is keen to renegotiate the Hambantota Port deal with China at the right time. State Minister for Money, Capital Markets and State Enterprise Reforms, Aditya Cabral, told the Colombo Gazette that agreement reached between the former government and China allowed the lease of port to be extended up to 198 years. The lease was for an initial 99 years. According to Cabral, it can be extended to 198 years. As a result, he said the government will look into renegotiate the deal at the right time with the Chinese government. On to sports news. Cricket. Today, the final day of the first test played between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka. The match is being played at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium. With the match halted for lunch, Sri Lanka were 668 runs for the loss of 8 wickets. Dimit Karunaratne scored 244 runs. Dhananjay Silva scored 166 runs. Partnership between the two players for the fourth cricket is 345 runs. Soccer news. Real Madrid president Florentino Perez said the 12 clubs that agreed to join a new European Super League have binding contracts and cannot leave. 9 of the 12 teams, including all 6 Premier League clubs, withdrew from the proposed tournament on Tuesday after the plans sparked a furious backlash. Real Madrid, Barcelona and Juventus have not yet abandoned the project. That was sports news.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News. Sponsored by National Savings Bank. The safest place for your money.
HSBC today announced the rollout of sustainable payment cards made from 85% recycled plastic in Sri Lanka. The new cards with a vertical design will be initially issued by HSBC's premier customers in April and subsequently to all other credit debit card customers later this year. The rollout is part of a new program launched by the bank to introduce sustainable payment cards across all its global locations. By the end of 2026, HSBC will eliminate single-use PVC plastic in favor of recycled PVC plastic. That was business news.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibility. That's why we promise to give you the best returns and guarantee on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
The boss of networking giant Cisco has said the shortage of computer chips is set to last for almost this part of the year. Many firms have been production delayed because of a lack of semiconductors triggered by the COVID pandemic and exacerbated by other factors. Cisco chief Chuck Robbins told the BBC, "We think we got another 6 months to get through the short term." He said that providers are building out more capacity and that will be better and better over the next 12 to 18 months. Expansion of capacity will be crucial as advances in technology including 5G, cloud computing, the Internet of Things and artificial intelligence drive a big increase in demand. That is economic news.
I bought my daughter a laptop for her work by managing my finances. Whatever the expenses may be, I can't afford to miss out on life's special moments like her birthday or our anniversary. So you need to invest to make your family's future flourish.
Saving money isn't easy when you have responsibilities. That's why we promise to give you the best returns on your investment. LOLC Finance Fixed Deposits. Maximize your savings. LOLC Finance PLC, incorporated on the 13th of December 2001, is rated SLA stable by ICRA Lanka Limited and is licensed by the Monetary Board of the Central Bank of Sri Lanka under the Finance Business Act number 42 of 2011.
And on to the weather reports. Showers or thunder showers occur at several places in the western, central, Sabaragamuwa, southern, Uva, north central and northwestern provinces during the afternoon or night. Showers will occur in the western and southern coastal area during the morning tomorrow. Fairly falls about 70 millimeters can be expected some places in the western, Sabaragamuwa and central provinces and Galle Matara districts. And back to the headlines of the news. The President says vaccination is the final solution and urges public to follow health guidelines. State Minister Aditya Cabral says post-study project will benefit the country in many ways. Tourism sector will continue to despite the pandemic. 19 persons were arrested yesterday for failing to adhere to quarantine rules and regulations. Doctors say that with the new variant of the COVID-19 pandemic, patients could get pneumonia prior to showing any symptoms. In world news, patients dying without oxygen in India amid Delhi surge. That is the news, and back to your friend and mine, ST Sound. How to keep entertained this Sunday afternoon. Over to you, Soundy.